Welcome to my channel History Coins HD. If you love discovering hidden treasures and learning about rare US coins, you're in the right place. In today's video, we'll reveal some of the most valuable coins that could be worth far more than you think. Stick around till the end, you won't want to miss what these rare gems are really worth. And if you are new to the channel, make sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel to enjoy more discoveries in future. Let's dive in. Coin number 1, where ordinary coins tell extraordinary stories. If you've ever looked through a handful of change and brushed aside a Susan B. Anthony dollar thinking it wasn't worth much, you might want to think again. Because today, we're uncovering the surprising secrets of the 1979 Susan B. Anthony $1 coin, one of the most misunderstood and underestimated coins in US history. And now, at first glance, this coin might not look like anything special. It's not made of silver or gold. It doesn't sparkle with rare metals. And let's be honest, it's been called unremarkable by many over the years. But behind that modest appearance lies a coin that made history, stirred public controversy, and holds a few rare versions that could be worth a small fortune today. Let's set the stage. It's the late 1970s. America is navigating the end of the Vietnam War era, adjusting to economic challenges, and embracing the growing momentum of the women's rights movement. For the first time ever, the US Mint decides to honor a woman on circulating coinage. That woman is Susan B. Anthony, pioneering suffragette, fearless activist, and one of the boldest voices for women's equality in American history. In 1979, the US Mint released the new dollar coin featuring her portrait. It was meant to replace the bulky Eisenhower dollar and be more practical for everyday use. The new coin was smaller, closer in size to a quarter, and had an 11-sided inner border to help differentiate it by touch. Sounds smart, right? Well, here's where it gets interesting. The public didn't quite fall in love with the coin. In fact, it was often mistaken for a quarter, which led to confusion in vending machines, parking meters, and people's pockets. The coin failed to gain traction, and after a few short years, production was halted. But while many brushed it off as a failed experiment, collectors soon realized that not all Susan B. Anthony dollars are created equal. Some versions of the 1979 coin, especially those minted during the earliest production runs, contain rare features, minting errors, or unique characteristics that make them incredibly valuable today. And if you've got the right one, you might be holding something worth far more than a single dollar. Let's talk about what to look for. The first thing that separates the valuable Susan B. Anthony dollars from the ordinary ones is something known among collectors as the wide rim or near-date variety. On these rare coins, the rim is noticeably thicker, and the date appears closer to the edge of the coin. This was part of an early minting variation before they switched to a more spaced-out design. The wide rim version was only produced for a very short time at the Philadelphia Mint, making it incredibly scarce. Another key factor is the mint mark. In 1979, coins were struck at 3 mints: Philadelphia, no mint mark; Denver, D, and San Francisco, S. Now here's where it gets juicy. The San Francisco Mint struck proof coins, special collector's editions with mirror-like finishes. Most of these were pristine. But a few coins were struck with errors, like the famous Type 1 and Type 2S mint mark varieties. The Type 1 has a filled S, while the Type 2 shows a clearer, sharper S mint mark. The Type 2 version was used in only part of the 1979 proof run, and very few made it into circulation. If you've got one of those, it's already in the rare category. And then there are the ultra-rare errors. Double strikes. Off-center strikes. Misaligned dies. Coins struck on the wrong planchet. These are freak accidents in the minting process, and they're catnip for serious collectors. Because error coins are, by nature, one of a kind. And when you combine that rarity with a coin that already has historical significance, the value skyrockets. But rarity isn't just about what went wrong at the mint. It's also about preservation. If you happen to own a 1979 Susan B. Anthony dollar that's in pristine, uncirculated condition, no scratches, no wear, no pocket damage, then you're already sitting on something special. And if that coin also happens to be a rare variety or proof strike, you're looking at serious value. What's truly fascinating is how something so ordinary can be so easily overlooked. You might have one of these coins sitting in a drawer, passed down from a grandparent, or hidden in a childhood coin folder. You might have spent one at a vending machine years ago without even knowing. And yet, among the millions produced, only a few possess the exact combination of rarity, error, and perfect condition that sets them apart from the rest. So here's the part you've been waiting for. While a typical 1979 Susan B. Anthony dollar is worth face value, or maybe a few bucks to a collector, the rarest varieties? The coins with the wide rim, the San Francisco Type 2 proof, or unique minting errors? Those coins have been known to sell for $18,000 to an incredible $55,000 at major auctions. That's right. A coin that was once seen as a flop could now be worth as much as a brand new car, or a life-changing sum for someone who takes the time to check what they've got. So the next time you see a Susan B. Anthony dollar or hear someone dismiss it as worthless, remember this story. Remember that hidden value doesn't always shine at first glance. Sometimes, it takes a closer look, a little curiosity, and a lot of luck. Thanks for watching, and if you love rare coin discoveries, unusual money mysteries, and jaw-dropping values, don't forget to subscribe, like this video, and ring the notification bell. There's a whole world of hidden treasure waiting to be uncovered, and you just might be holding a piece of it right now. Coin number 2, you've just stepped into another episode of Rare Coin Discoveries, and we've got something that will absolutely blow your mind. It's big, bold, presidential, and incredibly mysterious. That's right, we're talking about the United States $1 coin from 1971, minted in Denver, the Eisenhower dollar. And now before you glance at your coin jar and shrug this off, thinking, oh, I've seen these before, you might want to stick around. Because there's a version of this coin that's not only extremely rare but also potentially worth more than a luxury car, or even a down payment on a house. Let's travel back to the early 1970s. America had just gone through the turbulence of the 1960s, war, protests, assassinations, a moon landing, and was entering a new chapter. The U.S. Mint wanted to honor a man who played a central role in two of the 20th century's biggest stories, World War II and the space race. That man was Dwight D. Eisenhower, 5-star general, Supreme Allied Commander, and the 34th President of the United States. To mark his contributions and memorialize him after his passing in 1969, the U.S. Mint introduced a brand new dollar coin in 1971. It would be the first dollar coin minted since the peace dollar ended production in 1935. This wasn't just pocket change, this was a tribute. Now here's the interesting part. The 1971 Eisenhower dollar was a massive departure from recent coins. It was large, 38.1 millimeters in diameter, and heavy, making it stand out in anyone's hand or coin purse. It featured a sharp, commanding profile of Eisenhower on the obverse, the word liberty above his head, and the national motto, "In God We Trust," just below his chin. The date, of course, reads 1971. And then there's that little D-Mint mark, stamped just above the date. That tells us this coin came from the Denver Mint, but the reverse? That's where things get really interesting. The reverse design is based on the Apollo 11 mission patch, a bold American eagle landing on the surface of the moon, clutching an olive branch, with Earth floating in the background. It's not just beautiful, it's symbolic. It connects Eisenhower's role as a military leader with the peace and technological achievement of the space age. So with such a rich backstory, why isn't everyone talking about this coin? Because most people don't realize that not all Eisenhower dollars are created equal. While millions of these coins were produced, especially for circulation, only a tiny fraction of them have survived in perfect condition. Even fewer exist with unusual characteristics, coins that exhibit striking errors, rare finishes, or production quirks that set them apart from the rest. And then, there are the mysterious, high-grade variants. Some 1971 D. Eisenhower dollars have surfaced over the years with unexplainable qualities. Coins with unusually crisp details. Coins with unexpected luster. Coins that appear to have been struck using different planchets, or coins with smoother edges, odd textures, or even subtle color variations. These anomalies are what make the Eisenhower dollar one of the most underrated treasures in U.S. coinage. Add to that the fact that many people used these coins for vending machines, casinos, or simply tossed them in drawers and forgot about them. That means the number of coins in pristine, untouched condition? Extremely small. And now here's where it gets truly exciting. Some collectors have stumbled upon 1971 D. Eisenhower dollars in mint condition, no scratches, no circulation wear, no dings or dents. Just a beautiful, solid strike with shimmering surfaces and sharp edges. When authenticated and professionally graded, these coins are often classified as MS66, MS67, or even MS68, a grade that's exceptionally rare for coins of this size and era, and that rarity translates directly into value. Because while a typical 1971 D. Eisenhower dollar in circulated condition might only be worth a few dollars, those exceptional, Almost perfect specimens? The ones preserved like time capsules? Those are in a completely different league. So if you've got one of these coins tucked away in a collection, or maybe inherited one from a parent or grandparent, it might be time to give it a closer look. Check the condition. Is it free from marks? Does it have a brilliant shine? Is the detail sharp and crisp, even around Eisenhower's hair and the eagle's feathers on the reverse? If so, you could be holding something extremely valuable, and if you're one of the extremely lucky individuals to own a verified mint condition 1971 D Eisenhower dollar with unique traits, whether it's an exceptional strike, a known error, or just one of the finest examples ever found, then your coin could be worth anywhere from $25,000 to an astonishing $65,000. Yes, you heard that right. A coin that many people overlook could be worth tens of thousands of dollars. So before you spend that old Eisenhower dollar at a gas station or hand it to a kid as a novelty, stop. Take a good look. You might be holding a hidden treasure from American history. Thanks for joining us today on this incredible journey through time, money, and mystery. If you love stories like this, rare coins, and surprising finds, be sure to subscribe, give this video a thumbs up, and turn on notifications so you never miss a chance to learn about the next hidden gem. Until then, happy hunting, and don't forget to check your change. Coin number 3. We re-diving into one of the most fascinating pieces of American coinage that has flown under the radar for far too long, the 1972 D Eisenhower $1 coin. At first glance, it may seem like just another big, clunky dollar coin from the 1970s, but what if I told you that one specific version of this coin could be worth a staggering amount of money? Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll see why a seemingly ordinary coin from 1972 might just be the unexpected treasure hiding in your collection. Let's take a step back in time to understand why this coin even exists. The Eisenhower dollar was introduced in 1971, marking the return of the large-sized dollar coin in the United States. For decades, the $1 coin had been absent from circulation, and the U.S. Mint wanted to create something both practical and symbolic. So who better to honor than General Dwight D. Eisenhower, a World War II hero and two-term President of the United States? But this wasn't just about honoring Ike. The reverse of the Eisenhower dollar features one of the most epic and historic design choices ever made on American currency, an eagle landing on the moon, based on the Apollo 11 insignia. That's right, the coin didn't just celebrate a president, it also celebrated America's triumph in space. This made the Eisenhower dollar a powerful symbol of American strength, both on Earth and beyond. And now, the Denver Mint struck millions of these coins in 1972. If you've got a coin with a D just below Eisenhower's neck on the obverse, that means it was made at the Denver facility. These coins were intended for circulation and were struck using a copper-nickel clad composition. Most people used them in everyday transactions, casinos, vending machines, or simply tossed them into a drawer, never giving them a second thought. But here's where things get interesting: not every 1972 D Eisenhower dollar is the same. While the majority were struck with standard dies, a handful stand out, and these are the ones collectors go absolutely wild for. Some of the rarest examples show extremely strong strikes, pristine surfaces, and deep, mirror-like fields that resemble proof coins. These are not proof coins per se, but they're the result of exceptional minting conditions or even experimental die varieties that were never widely released. And then there are the errors. You see, the minting process isn't always perfect. With so many coins being produced at once, sometimes something goes wrong, and that's where the value skyrockets. Double die obverse, off-center strikes, wrong planchet errors, or design anomalies can all create coins that are not only rare but truly unique. Even the smallest variations, like changes in the relief, rim design, or spacing of letters, can make a huge difference to a trained eye, but condition matters too. Most Eisenhower dollars from 1972 D were used heavily, which means they're scratched, dented, and worn. However, a coin that has survived in near-perfect, uncirculated condition? That's another story. High-grade examples, especially those graded MS66 or MS67 by a professional grading service, are incredibly hard to come by. When one shows up at an auction, it becomes the centerpiece of the entire event. Now you might be wondering, what should I be looking for if I have a 1972 D Eisenhower dollar? First, check the overall condition. Is the coin free from wear and damage? Do the details on Eisenhower's face and the eagle on the reverse still look sharp and crisp? Look closely at the edges and surfaces. If it has that original mint luster and looks like it just came out of the press, it's worth further investigation. Second, look at the strike. Some 1972 D coins were struck with greater precision than others. These coins often have sharper features, clearer lettering, and more defined images of the eagle and earth on the reverse. Third, you might want to have it evaluated by a professional grading service. A certified coin in high grade with a rare die variety or error can unlock the kind of value most people never expect from a 1970s dollar coin. Now let's get to the big reveal, the part you've all been waiting for. While most 1972 D Eisenhower dollars are worth a few dollars to collectors, the rarest examples, the ones in pristine, mint-state condition or with extraordinary error features, have been known to sell for as much as $23,000 to $62,000. Yes, you heard that right. A coin that most people would walk right past at a flea market or dismiss as pocket change could actually be worth tens of thousands of dollars. So, the next time you come across a 1972 D Eisenhower dollar, don't brush it off. Examine it carefully. You could be holding a piece of history, a symbol of America's past, and possibly a life-changing find. Coin number 4, we're spotlighting a piece of American currency that most people have seen, many have overlooked, and only a lucky few truly understand: the 1974 Eisenhower $1 coin. It might look like just another heavy old coin from the past, but stick with me, because by the end of this video, you'll understand why this seemingly humble dollar could be worth more than most people's annual salary. Let's rewind for a moment and talk about the coin's origin. The Eisenhower dollar made its debut in 1971. It was the first U.S. dollar coin issued since the peace dollar ended in 1935, and it was named in honor of General Dwight D. Eisenhower, the Allied Supreme Commander in World War II and the 34th President of the United States. Eisenhower was a figure of unity, strength, and integrity, and this coin was meant to reflect that legacy. But the design of the Eisenhower dollar did something more. It didn't just pay tribute to a president. It also commemorated one of America's greatest achievements, the Apollo 11 moon landing. Take a close look at the reverse of the coin, and you'll see a bold, striking image: an American bald eagle landing on the moon, olive branch in its talons, with Earth hovering in the background. This design, based on the original Apollo 11 mission patch, wasn't just symbolic, it was visionary. It connected military leadership and technological triumph, strength and peace, past and future, all in one coin. Now, fast forward to 1974, a critical year in the series. By this time, the Eisenhower dollar had been minted for 3 consecutive years, and public opinion was mixed. The coin was large, heavy, and not widely used in everyday transactions. But collectors and historians took note of each year's unique variations, and 1974, in particular, would go on to produce some of the most fascinating coins in the entire Eisenhower series. Here's why. The 1974 Eisenhower dollar was minted in 3 locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Each facility struck different versions, some for circulation, some for collectors. But the rarest and most valuable versions? Those come from an unusual combination of factors: striking quality, die varieties, minting errors, and uncirculated preservation. The Denver Mint's 1974 D coins were intended for circulation and struck in copper nickel clad. Most of these coins show signs of heavy use, scratches, dull surfaces, and wear from decades in pockets, drawers, and cash registers. But a tiny handful of these coins were struck with exceptional detail and preserved in flawless condition, untouched by time. And even more rare are the Eisenhower dollars that contain striking errors, things that weren't supposed to happen. Some 1974 coins were struck on the wrong planchet. Others were misaligned or double struck. A few exhibit extremely sharp details due to an over-polished die or early die state, making them stand out visually even to the untrained eye. There are also rumors, and some confirmed cases, of 1974 Eisenhower dollars that exhibit a unique finish or unusual color toning caused by exposure to different minting environments or chemical reactions over time. Another twist to the story? Around this time, the U.S. Mint was preparing for a big change: the transition from the large Eisenhower dollar to the much smaller Susan B. Anthony dollar, which would debut in 1979. As plans were underway for redesigning the U.S. dollar coin, 1974 became one of the final years in which the original, full-sized Eisenhower was produced for general circulation. That limited production window makes well-preserved 1974 coins even more desirable to collectors today. So how do you know if your 1974 Eisenhower dollar is one of the rare ones? First, examine the surface. If your coin has full, bold details, especially around Eisenhower's hair, cheekbone, and the eagle's feathers on the reverse. It may have come from a high-quality strike. Next, check the condition. Coins in mint state, untouched, no wear, no scratches, are extremely rare for this issue. Coins graded MS66 or higher by a professional grading service are considered exceptional. If your coin is still in original packaging from a mint set, even better. And now, if you happen to notice anything odd, a missing letter, an off-center design, strange coloration, or odd texture, don't dismiss it. That could be a mint error, and mint errors on 1974 Eisenhower dollars are known to carry serious value. So what does all of this mean for the collector, the curious hobbyist, or the lucky person who finds a 1974 Eisenhower dollar in an old drawer? It means you could be sitting on a treasure, because while most 1974 Eisenhower dollars are worth just a few dollars, the rarest varieties, coins with rare mint errors, exceptional condition, or unique characteristics, have been valued at between $20,000 and an eye-opening $60,000 in verified auctions and private sales. Yes, you heard that right. $1 could be worth $60,000. That's the magic of coin collecting. It's not just about metal and numbers. It's about history, rarity, timing, and sometimes pure luck. And the 1974 Eisenhower dollar is one of those coins that proves just how much mystery and value can be hidden in plain sight. So before you toss that old coin in the change jar or sell it for a few bucks, take another look. Flip it over. Feel its weight. Examine its surface. And if it feels special, it just might be. If you enjoyed this deep dive into one of America's overlooked treasures, don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, and turn on notifications. We've got plenty more coin mysteries and hidden gems to uncover. Until next time, happy collecting, and remember, sometimes the real value isn't just in the coin, it's in the story it tells.